Yeah.
What's up?
Who you got? Big bro.
Nobody. I tell
Like
people all the
small.
time. Not even my brother calls me big bro, so I'm always taken off guard when people go, "Hey, big bro." I'm like, I mean, I get it, culturally thing, whatever, but I'm like, yo,
Culturally?
come on. I also don't like when people call me big man. It's a very weird thing. Like it's happened less since I've lost the weight, but it still happens. Like they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, big dog?" I'm like, I can't say cool and small dog. I can't do that because then that's offensive. That's offensive. If I called you a small dog, you'd be like, "What?"
Do it. You know how I am. I'll be like, you offend me. I'm gonna treat you the same way and watch you argue. I wanted to call that man a gardener the other day, but I was with you.
That was a very interesting interaction because I don't know what we were at the game. We were at the Rockets game, just sitting at the spot we view the Rockets game from, which is a secret. And a gentleman looked over at us and goes, "Are y'all coaches?" And I'm not gonna lie, when stuff like that happens, I'm taken off guard because I just assume you're not talking to me because my initial thought was there is nothing athletic about us, and my second thought was a lot of coaches I know just aren't athletic. They're just big dudes. Like they used to be athletic and now they eat pizza. So I was like, all right, maybe we do fit the coach's mold, but also what? When there are people of other cultures, I feel like they just have difficulty talking to black people sometimes. Like they want to be friendly and they're trying to figure out a way to do it. They're like, because I would never walk up to a white guy and just be like, "Hey man, like, are you an accountant? Like you got an accountant vibe about you, sir." And I'm just like of all the jobs to just guess. Like he's like, "Yo, y'all seem like coaches. Y'all are at a Rockets game." I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like we're just at the game. So yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Two black folks at a game. Two black folks at a game. But it is what it is. I mean, what I was going to ask you earlier is I'm gonna make a statement. I don't care about the Super Bowl. Like what should I care? Is this gonna be a good Super Bowl?
I'm gonna tell you right now. The only and here's why, because people have asked me, and I lied to that guy last night because he annoyed me. But I am going for the Bengals, and here's why I'm going for the Bengals because I legitimately, this is not about the players. This is not about the players. This is about the city. LA does not care about winning this Super Bowl, and I'm going to stand on it. I think somebody posted a meme like right after they won, and they was like LA fans ordering LA gear. Like I ain't really seen y'all repping this team.
Nah.
So yeah, I know
LA is the most fair weather city.
Nah. See, they rock with the Lakers. Like LA is a Lakers city.
They rock with the Lakers when the Lakers win.
But nah. See, I would push back on that because I feel like LA rocks with the Lakers. Like, I mean, look, you get waves and ebbs and flows, but I think LA rocks with the Lakers the way Houston rocks with the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people always like, how come the Texans are so bad? I was like, because we buy Texans gear regardless of their record. I don't think there's ever even been a dip. Like this, they could be just straight 0-13 and somebody gonna have a jersey. We don't even know who the player is. They're like, well, I got my tech. I got this jersey because the number. I don't know who he is. So I think LA rocks with the Lakers like that. The Lakers are they're not trash, but that's something that said there were two teams over the season that preseason that they were like, oh, it's absolutely gonna happen. It was the Nets. Harden went there, and it's a super team, and it was the Lakers and LeBron and his team. And sometimes you can put all these great things together and it just not mesh. Like it can happen all the time.
Was it the 05 Lakers when they put together the dream team basically, and then the Pistons came and beat them?
That's what I'm saying. I was like,
that's why team basketball.
That's why I never am like, when people get like, it's unfair. it's unfair all these players getting together. I'm like, dog, you don't know what is gonna happen. Remember Golden State? They still exist, but remember Golden State fandom? Like they came out of nowhere. They all went to the Lakers, and now all those bandwagon fans have nowhere to go. Like they're still deciding. They're like, what do I do? Do I wait for Westbrook to throw up another air ball? Or do I head on over to this other team? So yeah, that's all. It's just trash for fans right now. Fair weather fans. If you're a true fan of your team, I feel like you've been having a couple of great seasons.
I respect that. If you stick with your team through thick and thin, if you support the Utah Jazz right now, like, and you've been supporting them, if you've been supporting like just your team, even if they're trash, I got a lot of respect for you.
I don't have respect for people that are fans of the Utah Jazz. They need to give that name back to New Orleans. But continue.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
One city that has nothing to do with jazz.
It's like the Alaskan orange growers. It's like, no, bro.
It's a state full of jazzless people, and y'all got the nerve to walk out on the nerve.
What you call like the New Orleans Utah contemporary listening. That's what they need to be called.
We're the New Orleans Mormons. They would be upset. They would be upset at the New Orleans Mormons, but no, the Utah Jazz got to get out there. I'd be like, dog, clap on the 2 and the 3. Clap on the 3 and the 4. Clap. Just get the clap. Get the beat down. Let's see what happens.
2 and the 4.
But I threw it out. I threw out a more complicated one just to see what was going to happen.
Back to back?
Yeah, just the double time. I just want to see what they're going to do. I want to see what they're going to do. I've seen TikTok. I know that Utah has no dancing ability.
And that's true because Utah is primarily a white state, but us, we're black and ugly as ever. I stay Houston down to my socks. I don't have on socks. I'm at my house. I was just at work. All right. It was a great time because I work from home. I'm still sitting at my work desk. It's a great time sitting at your work desk. We just got off of work 2 seconds ago. Got to go right into some interviews.
You got a water cooler behind you too.
You said what?
You got a water cooler behind you too.
Yeah, I got my water cooler. It's this way. I did it right this time.
Good job. I was just testing you.
I figured you was. But that's the thing about us. My name, oh no, it's them again. It's them boys from In My Humble Opinion. My name, Avery, like a very nice guy. You can find me at _VRIII, 4 eyes, because I wear glasses even though I don't have them on right now. And you could find me everywhere on all socials under that name. And my brother is with me right now. Big bro. What's up, big bro?
You don't have to
Just Devon, big bro.
I am literally your older brother, but you don't have to call me that. We have
big bro.
Other that for, how old are you? 38 years.
37. So, don't give me that extra.
My bad. Did not put the 38 on you.
I always say I'm 37. That's my age, but don't give me the extra year. I never lie about my age, but don't give me the extras.
Oh, okay. Because there's a huge difference between 37 and 38. That's the big year.
365 days.
So Pat, it's not even 365 days. I know your birthday's in August. We're creeping up on it. Life comes at you quick when you get old. We've gone through 2 years of COVID, and it don't even feel like it's been 2 years.
Oh my God, I didn't even age at that time. No, actually I did. I'm tripping. I lost my hair during COVID. We don't need to talk about that right now.
I didn't know that was a symptom.
We're talking. Where the hell can people find you? Just Devon?
See, and I just took myself off the little thing.
He's Just Devon. You can find Just Devon at Dr. Douglas on Instagram.
All socials and Just Devon on Twitter. I'm working on it. There's a guy named Just Devon. If y'all want to, if all 30 of you, well, first of all, some of my guests are like my mom. She don't even know how to get on Twitter like that. But if y'all want to start attacking this man on Instagram and be like, yo, give up Just Devon. You don't even get on here. Instagram is almost dead anyway. So y'all might as well just go ahead and give that up to me. So
might as well. Yeah. Give it up. And you can find both of us at My Humble O on everything, all socials. And we're in my humble opinion podcast on the YouTube. Thank you for watching us on the YouTube. The comments, I like the comments. Thank you very much because I respond to the comments. So it's a good time. It's a great time. Speaking of great times, we have a guest that we've wanted for a bit now, because In My Humble Opinion podcast always brings attention to some of the dopest artists that you should be aware of. Now, I don't know about Devon, but I first got wind of this artist on the standout performance off of Tony Dark's album, The Legend of B.B. Cooper, on the song Horizons. All right? Now, yes, look out for your squad. I know that. Mine is on some tribal shit. I did that wrong because I'm a terrible rapper. A line that stood out to me about who she is and who she stands for, especially on her series White Coat Wednesdays. I'm gonna try this one. I'm snapping words and pieces, wrapped in an urgent thesis. Theory has it. I'm clearly batching with verbiage and words. Plus, I'm a nerd with observant. So I messed it up.
Oh,
I'm gonna do it wrong.
She's so much better than you.
She is so much better than me, but that's what I'm showing you, how hard that she puts together these verses. It gave me, those lines gave me that dead in the middle of Little Italy, like just.
Yeah.
But she can do it because her rhymes that she puts together are very thought out. I mean, look, all right, she's God's daughter, okay? She's a creative who is expressing themselves by rapping and songwriting and creating content, such as White Coat Wednesdays, with her single God Willing, featuring 4 Eyes, streaming right now. And no, see, I'm over here messed up because you have another one that you dropped today. You should slap me for that. But your creator, medical student, and who just matched with MCW Urology for her residency. Congratulations, by the way. All right, she be rapping, okay? Get ready for C-Red.
How's it going?
Thank you. What's up, guys? It's going really, really well. Thank y'all for having me. And thank you for the intro. That was dope.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you for coming out, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. It was with a question that I asked you on when I went to your album listening session. Mm-hmm. What is it that you want to do? Because you are well versed in rapping, but you are also well versed in the educational aspect in the medical field. Those can be. We haven't seen this before. Like we've seen people that kind of dabble, but this is kind of serious. So tell us, how did you get to this point and what direction do you kind of want to go in?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. It's a great question. It's been the question that I've kind of been asked definitely since college, I would say. I started kind of taking myself seriously as an artist once I got in college, and, got to be an adult and kind of could take myself seriously, because you can't really do anything seriously when you're still in your parents' house, that kind of thing. And, it just kind of is what it is. It's like when I started really making mixtapes and things like that. I think the big thing for me is I think I enjoy kind of using both sides of my brain. I like being a nerd. I like medicine. I enjoy taking care of patients. I enjoy that side of my life. And I also enjoy music. Music has always been my way of expressing myself and decompressing. I don't journal and stuff like that. It's always been my way of expressing my views of the world and kind of connecting with my community and kind of making complicated concepts and stuff kind of simple. It's kind of the way that I take my nerd life and, communicating with that world and kind of drawing those two worlds together. And so I don't really see a way to separate them, honestly. I don't ever think there's going to be a day where I wake up and don't want to write a rhyme, but I also don't think there's a day where I'm going to wake up and only want to, do music either, if that makes sense. And so, I think, and so I think it's always been interesting to me because it's people have always told me that I need to kind of pick one because everyone else has only picked one. But I also think that's not true because artists are always involved in all kinds of things. Artists are business owners, they're philanthropists, they're involved in all kinds of things, especially once their artistry is reached the level where they're able to do a bunch of different things. So to me, it's just kind of I'm both. And I'm more than an artist and a doctor as well. I haven't graduated yet. I graduate June 4th, thank God. Oh. But you know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. I'm a future doctor. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a lot of different things. So it's just kind of like to try to box myself into just one thing. It's just I don't think that was God's intention for me to begin with, and so I don't ever want to try to like single myself into one title because I don't think that was the point of me being here. So
And that kind of brings
long-winded.
no, it's not. And we're a podcast. We got plenty of tape. So that brings up a good point because I guess people don't really mind when you do it I'm not going to say the backwards way, but the one way where it's like, I'm an artist and I gained success and now I get to do a bunch of businesses. So nobody kind of bats an eye we kind of do, but it's like, Master P and J. Cole can become basketball players, and Jay-Z can become a full-on businessman, and so many guys can be like, I sell liquor, or I do this, or I'm selling this, or I'm now this, or I can go back to school. Nobody really has a thing with entertainers going back to school. They're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get my degree. But people kind of look at it weird when they're like, oh, well, you did the school thing first, so you can't do the entertainment thing now, like not at the same time.
Yeah. That's kind of been, I don't know. I think I've had different opportunities, I guess, come and go because I haven't been willing to kind of just leave my school journey and kind of leave those different pursuits. But that's also just been because like I've also had my own vision for what I've wanted to do with my artistry. And I didn't want to like give that up to have somebody else kind of take control of like what they thought I should be doing, with my music career too. And so it's just kind of like, it's always kind of, kind of trusting your own vision for like what you think you should be doing with your creativity and your artistry. And I don't know, it's working out. It's definitely a grassroots operation. It's definitely a slower grind and a slower build, but I'm pleased with how things are going. And I'm proud of myself when I wake up in the morning and I can look at myself in the mirror and not be ashamed of anything. And when my parents, listen to my music, they're happy with it. And, it's all good. Like, I don't have any regrets and I'm happy really with how things are going. So
that's good. You're happy. Let's take it back to when you were living in your parents' house and you're telling me how did are you from a musical family? Were you musical inclined? Like what actually got you attracted to music in the first place?
I played a couple of instruments. Like I used to take piano lessons. So I quit piano in middle school. I played the trumpet for a hot minute too. I quit all that in middle school actually because I wanted to play basketball. And that's actually around the time I started rapping too. I started rapping in middle school, kind of around the time where I like quit my instruments and like started hooping and stuff. And I started rapping. One of my cousins, he was from South Florida. He came up to spend some time with us. I grew up in Tallahassee, Florida. So that's kind of like in the middle of the panhandle. So he came up to visit us and they had given them these Apple laptops to kind of use over the summer. So we like put GarageBand and stuff on there and we were like making beats and stuff and like started like writing these songs. We formed like a little rap group. It was me, him, and my brother. We called ourselves Minority. And we just started like writing all these, we're creative, right? Started writing all these songs.
In a crazy way though?
What'd you say?
Did you spell minority in a crazy way though?
No,
okay.
No.
I really thought I really thought minority was gonna be spelled like all types of different ways. Okay.
So that's when we like started writing all the songs and stuff, and we had a little group for a little while, and I just kind of kept going with it, and that's like when I first like really fell in love with hip hop because for a while like I really wasn't exposed to a lot of mainstream music really up until middle school as well. Like it was all what my parents like to listen to. So it was a lot of like gospel music and like soul music, like R&B, kind of like funk, like all that kind of stuff. So I really hadn't really been exposed to any of that stuff until I like got to middle school and like got around my friends and like all that kind of stuff. So that was like really where like the love of it grew, and I kind of just kept up with it and fell in love with it, and it really just became like I said, just kind of my outlet for expressing kind of the world within me and around me. And
Now,
yeah.
we talk to a lot of artists, and there are a number. Like we've had Todd on the show from Things with Todd, and he talks about his father getting upset after paying for college when Todd was dropping out, and he ripped up a check in front of him, like the whole check, and he's like, "That's the money you wasted." I feel like you found the cheat code because you were doing both. Like, how did your family feel when they're like, I mean, she's rapping, but she's also still in school. So, like, what is the take on your music so far?
They're actually kind of like, how are you doing all this? That's kind of their thing. And like, actually for a while, like my parents didn't really know, especially when I was in college, they didn't really know how big of a deal it was. Cause I didn't really like, they like knew that I like made music, but they didn't really know like everything that I was like doing in the city. And so it would be like, people would tell them like, oh, we saw your daughter perform at this thing and like at that thing. And like, it would be like people at church, like, oh, we saw her here. We heard her on the radio there, like that kind of stuff. And they're like, what are y'all talking about? You know? And so they would be like, oh, like we were like hearing this stuff about you, like around the city, like, what's up? Like, like that kind of thing. And so like, even now it's kind of hard. Like, even now I'm not even the best with like keeping them super up to date with stuff. Like my husband kind of has to like send them send them the update. Yeah, because it's just I'm so used to just kind of like moving and just kind of like keeping stuff going that I just kind of I don't know what's wrong with me.
I mean, look, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we would have the same question. Like, it's surprising when you're like, yeah, I am finishing medical school in June. This isn't like, yo, I just kind of entered medical school. Like, medical school is no joke. I'm pretty sure everybody knows that. So that's a lot to take on. And you're finishing this in June. I was just at an album listening a couple of weeks ago. How do you balance all this where you're taking on a grueling schedule for medical school and getting residency, but you're also plotting out albums? Because I listened to 2 albums at that release party. So that's the thing. How do you strike a balance between the two?
It's really all a time management thing. And it's really all like priorities and like time management for me. So it's just all about like what are the things that are most important to me and like what are all the things that I'm trying to accomplish in a day, right? And so it's not that like, so even with school, like there are periods with school where like I know that like there may be weeks or months where I'm not going to have time to do anything music related because I'm going to be like full-fledged, like I have to do this school stuff. Like when I have like big exams coming up or like just certain things coming up where like I know like I'm not going to have time to do artistry kind of stuff, right? And so like I know when those periods are coming up. And so like when those periods come up, I know that like, okay, these few months I need to make sure I'm like going like super ham with my artistry. I'm recording as much as I can, writing as much as I can. Like I need like this many White Coat Wednesdays ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing all that kind of stuff ahead of time so that like when I have to like kind of go dark creatively, I already have like all my content ready to go. And so like, when I like started doing the White Coat Wednesdays, it was actually my husband's idea to do it. Like I didn't even want to do it at first, just because I was just kind of like, I don't know. There's multiple reasons why I didn't want to do it. I'm glad that
okay, wait. Well, I got to stop you there because I do want to know what were the because White Coat Wednesdays works, but I also feel like
blew you up.
Do your words do your worlds collide? Like, were you trying to keep both worlds separate? And then your husband's like, do White Coat Wednesdays. And you're like, well, this is everything coming together now.
Yes and no. I mean, yes and no. So I feel like there is a bit of a fine line that I'm not with medicine, where since I'm not like fully there yet, like I'm not sure what I can and can't do quite yet, or like what stuff may or may not get me in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like as Dr. Battle versus, you know what I'm saying? So there is a degree of separation that I would like to have, like between being an artist versus like being responsible, you know, for like the well-being of my patients and stuff like that. Because I don't want like things that I'm doing as an artist to be like misconstrued with like things that I'm doing clinically. Because, you know, everything doesn't need to like overlap. You know what I'm saying? Like something that I say in a song like doesn't need to be taken as like my patient like telling, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not always meant to be the same thing. Okay. So yes. But in the same way, I don't know. I knew that I was going to be like applying for residency and stuff too. So I was also like, I don't want there to be any like red flags or whatever for residency programs, for them like being afraid to like have a rapper in their program. But then I got over that because I was just like, this is such a big part of my life that like if they don't want somebody who raps in their program, I don't belong there anyway. And so I like talked about that in every interview that I was in. You know, like it came up in every interview. I put it in my personal statements. That's like a big thing where you like talk about, you know, the path to like the field that you choose, and like you kind of like talk about your story and like what like got you to that point. And so I put like being a rapper and like my artistry and all that kind of stuff in my personal statement, so it would come up in every interview that I was in, because I wanted that to be like, hey y'all, this is who I am, this is a big part of my life, if this is an issue for you, I don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? And it worked out, you know. And so, yeah, with the White Coat Wednesday thing, like at first I didn't want to do it just because, I didn't want to do it at first for multiple reasons. I mean, like, I think we're in an era where you kind of, there's a lot of pressure to always have content. So if you're just kind of like freely giving away content, there's like this pressure that's like, oh, I could have used that for this, or I could have used that for that, you know. But I think that it's forced me to like be consistent and to really be very intentional with how I use my time. So like every week I know that like, okay, I'm posting my White Coat Wednesdays at this time. It's like gotten me used to like looking at my analytics and things like that, like stuff I didn't want to take time to do, like, because I didn't really care about it before, like, but now I have to do it because there's nobody else to do it. It's kind of like really like taught me those kinds of skills and stuff. And it's also just made my pen game a lot sharper and like made my songwriting skills a lot better, because like my White Coat Wednesday verses, I like them because, you know, like they're quick, they're fun, but they also like when I'm going in to write, like, you know, like more serious things for my albums and stuff, like it's way easier for me to like pull those chops out and do it. So I like it. So I know.
No, I'm saying it definitely gives you the practice.
It's like you're working out lyrically, like Jay-Z talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's all repetition. I mean, it's with anything, like with artistry, like I'm doing a surgical subspecialty with urology, with artistry, with surgery. Like the more you practice anything, you get better at it. And so that's what all this stuff is about. And it's like music and medicine, they're both, you know, two different crafts, and I want to be great at both of them. So that's what it's all about, just putting in the time and putting in the effort. So that's what I'm doing. Am I frozen? Hold up.
Yeah, but you're getting
I'm about to say it was a slight delay. Slight delay.
Putting in the time and putting in the effort though, but what made you go into urology?
Man. So yeah, let's talk about that. So, all right. When I was interviewing for medical school, so I don't know if y'all know this, I used to be a chemical engineer. So
what?
Who are you? Are you an alien? Golly.
Yes. So I'm like the, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You have time.
I'm the one who's like, so I want to be like whatever kid like thinks that they can't do whatever, like I want to be that example for the kid. Like you can do whatever you want to do, kid. You know what I'm saying? If you think you want to be this, you can be this. If you want to be a rapper, you can be a rapper. If you want to be an engineer, you can do that. You can do whatever you want to do. Like that's the story that I want to tell people. So that's actually what brought me to Texas. That's how I got from Tallahassee to Houston. I used to work in the oil and gas industry because I did chemical engineering. Yeah. So I moved out here in 2014 because I was working at an oil refinery, basically. And I quickly like decided that I didn't want to do that, for the next 30 years or whatever. And I had been thinking about med school when I was in undergrad, but like engineering school was it was hard. It was hard and it kind of like burned me out. And like, I wanted to get out of Tallahassee. I had done an internship in college, like out in the Houston area, and I got a job offer from it. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this job and just kind of like see what's up and just figure it out from there. So I took the job, came out here, and then like quickly decided that I wanted to do something else after starting the job. So applied to medical school. I actually had to do that twice because I didn't get in the first year I applied. So second year I applied for medical school. I was like interviewing down here at UTMB because I'm in UTMB at Galveston. And the second interview that I had was with a urologist here at UTMB. He was actually the residency program director here at UTMB. And I was just like talking to him like in the interview. And it's actually funny, like when I walked into his office, he had a music video up that I shot in college. And like when I walked into his office, he said, "Hey, is this you?" And he like plays the music video. And I was like, and so after like the whole video plays, and I was like, "Yeah, it's me." And he was like, "This is yeah, yeah." And it was a song called "Promise" that I did. It's off a mixtape called "Credible Sources" that me and Backpack Beats did actually. So yeah, he plays that music video, and like we go through the whole interview, and he kind of like talked to me about his career in urology and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I didn't have any idea like what urologist did or like what it was or anything, but I was just kind of like, he was cool, like his career sounded kind of dope. And so I just decided that I would kind of keep it on my radar kind of while I was going through medical school and like thinking about what I wanted to do afterwards. And so then while I was going through medical school and just doing different electives and stuff and kind of like keeping my interest open and stuff, I kind of fell in love with it and yeah, ended up deciding that that's what I wanted to do.
And for the audience, what is a urologist? for all of us.
Childish.
Yeah. So urologists, they're basically the surgeons that take care of kidney stones. They do like surgeries on your kidney, bladders, prostates. So yeah, kidney stones, prostate cancer, bladder cancer. They help women with like urinary incontinence, things like that, vasectomies. I'm trying to think of like common things. Those are probably like the most common things.
Yeah, things that people need. I mean, important things. Like
yeah,
we joke about it a lot, but it's hyper important. Like,
oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So,
and then of course kidney stones, because I don't think a lot of people realize how many people like get kidney stones because nobody.
Oh yeah.
Man, nobody drinks water anymore.
Nobody. Y'all, please drink your water, please.
Oh.
Yeah.
Water.
And make sure it's real water. I know two people. One of them, he said back in high school, he was playing football and they were like, you need to drink water, be hydrated. And he's like, I just didn't like the taste of water. So he was drinking those Walmart Clear America waters with the flavoring in them. You know, the ones that say 0 all the way down the side. But I was like, if it says 0 all the way down the side, where's the flavor? Like something's in here. And he said he spent a whole summer doing that. He's working out, he's drinking those, and he got kidney stones. And then we had another friend that his girl was drinking Topo Chicos. That was it. All the time. And then she developed kidney stones. And a lot of people will be like, and every time I've told somebody that, they've been like, wait, what? Like, are you sure? Like, how often do you run across things? I mean, this is just in your field. I'm talking like I'm even in the field. I don't know nothing. So how often, explain to people about that, like the importance of drinking water and how these problems can prop up.
Yeah, I mean, so it's important to drink water. So basically you need to drink water because it's going to flush out. Okay, so let me just back up. Kidney stones form when basically when different, I'm trying to not sound too like technical. Kidney stones form when when different particles are basically allowed to like become too concentrated in your urine. So the more water that you drink, it's gonna flush those things, like dilute it and like flush it out of your urine, basically.
Yeah.
It's the short answer, basically. Like the most common stones that are formed are calcium, like oxalate stones. And so a lot of the things that in those things that people are drinking are basically just like forming oxalate, basically, in the urine.
And
That's
that's
like,
a lot of stuff that people think, oh,
yeah,
well, I'm not getting the calories in. I'm drinking a diet soda, or I'm drinking
yeah,
water, or I'm drinking, but it's a flavored water, or I put a
yeah,
drink mix in my water so that, I still get water, but I'm still, and these are marketed to people like
yeah,
this
absolutely.
is the healthiest way to do this. Because there's one company that's like, who wants to drink regular water? And they're like, your water should taste like blueberries, but all that stuff can add up
Absolutely.
inside of your kidneys. I did not know we were going to have a medical discussion. It's fantastic. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you're stopping yourself because you're like, I don't want to be so technical. It shines out in your lyrics as well. Like, uh, I, we put you down on one of the 22 women in hip hop to look out for the Houston Press, but also when I was highlighting Tony Dark's album,
Mhm.
hands down for me, top 5 verse of the year.
Mm.
I don't say like what the number is because I'm sure you'll be nice, but rappers get mad. So they're like, I'm like, your
Number
top 5
3.
verse of the year. They're like, which one? And I'm like, top 5. Like, I don't know. Depends on how I'm feeling. Like if I'm,
Right, right.
but it's like very lyrically dense in a good way. So I'm assuming all that education and everything plays into like this high level vocabulary.
For sure.
I'm sure that's how it goes. Do you have a lot of your classmates that like discover your music? Do they know you're a rapper?
They do. They do. My classmates know for sure. A lot of my classmates will like come to my shows and stuff, which is nice of them. Yeah. They show a lot of love. And when I drop projects and stuff, we have like a big class group me that like post the links and stuff in there. So
That's
Oh, that's
good.
fantastic.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the other thing too is like, do you feel like times are, the internet is definitely changing a lot of stuff. If you had have told me, Avery and I were just at the Toby show, Toby
Mhm.
Nagagwe,
Mhm.
and I'm sure I would bet money that multiple people have been in his ear his whole trajectory saying you should do something else. Like this is
Mhm.
not going to work. And he has made a lane for himself using the internet in a different kind of environment. Do you feel like there's less? It's not like 1990 where it's like, I need a record label, I need to do this. And I'm sure a record label would tell you, like, you got to stop this medical thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you got to choose one or the other.
Yeah.
Does having the internet give you a little bit more freedom as an artist now?
I think so. I mean, yes, for sure. I think it's a lot easier to get music out, but I also think that it's a lot easier to get music out for everyone, so you're just competing with everyone who can get their music out there. So I think the market is just a lot more saturated with
Yeah.
people who are just able to get their music out there. So then it becomes like, how do you break through all that noise, you know? Which is something that I'm still trying to figure out. Where it does become kind of frustrating that like, I don't know, to not have the support of a label now that it feels like, because it's like, all right, well, I'm using this out there now, but like now I don't have any help to push it, other than like myself and my family and my friends and that kind of thing. Um,
There are definitely certain things. Well, first in steps your husband with this whole White Coat Wednesday idea.
yeah, yeah.
What was
So,
when you first recorded White Coat Wednesdays? You put out the first one. What was kind of the initial response?
oh man, that's a good question. I don't remember. To be very honest with you. I don't remember.
How did you feel after doing it though? How did you feel after your first White Coat Wednesday?
I feel like I was like, we'll see how this goes. I guess I'll do it again. Because you gotta understand, I didn't have the best attitude. I'm gonna be very, very honest with y'all. I didn't have the best attitude when I first started doing White Coat Wednesdays. Like I didn't want to do them every week. You know, like I didn't want to leave them up after I did them. I didn't want to like type out my lyrics and leave them up. You know, I'm just very like,
why not?
I'm
Why didn't
like,
you want to do that?
Huh?
Why didn't you want to do that though?
I don't know. You just get kind of like, I don't know. When you've been independent and like grinding for a while, sometimes you can, I feel like artists go through these like peaks and valleys of being like jaded and like excited and like jaded and like excited. So like there are some days where I'm like really, really excited. And there's some days where I'm like, man, like I'm tired, you know, and you get worried of like, if you're putting your lyrics up, like, are you going to hear it on somebody else's song, like who's bigger than you, who has people, you know what I'm saying? Like you just never know what eyes are on you, who's watching you. And like, because you're so small, like you never know if somebody's just going to take your line, you're going to hear it in somebody else's song because they can do that. You know what I'm saying? And so like, it's those kinds of things, not to my knowledge, but I also don't listen to a lot of like mainstream music. So who knows?
What do you listen to?
I listen to my friends' music mostly. I listen to my friends' music and like people that I'm like fans of, to be honest.
Get your friends out and the people you listen to out. Who are
they? Tony Dark, for sure. I listen to, hold on, I have my stack of vinyl over here. Hold up. So Tony Dark, Stevie Looper. Yep. Who else is over here? Oop, Fat Tony.
Oh, Fat Tony.
I got that one too.
Yep, Exotica. Yep, Lyric Jones, the homie.
Okay.
Lyric Jones. Yep. Oliver St. Louis. Y'all know him?
Actually, did we just hear about it?
Dope. This project is dope. Yeah. So this is Matters of the Heartless. This is dope. Y'all should listen to this.
I like his
singer, but he like plays and stuff too. The homie Nameless. This is Chips. His album's Chips. He's a producer. So he and Lyric Jones also dropped a project before this last one that she did that Fonte executive produced. They dropped Gas Money, which was dope. Who else I like to listen to? And then I like Foreign Exchange. I like Tall Black Guy. Like there's just like certain like sounds and stuff that I like. I listen to like Chris Dave and the Drumheads a lot. Like, you know, like Robert Glasper, like those kinds of.
Of course, you're going to listen to jazzy music. That's why your music sounds the way it does.
Thank you.
Do you ever feel like you get pigeonholed? I mean, we are in, I think one of the things I find refreshing about you and artists like Toby, and we were talking, literally we were talking like yesterday to Sunny the rapper. And she was like, this is a city where everybody can make their own type of music. Everybody's not always, she's like, everybody doesn't get the focus they necessarily deserve because the radio only want to play one thing. But she's like, if you look out, like, you know, she was saying that list we put out, she's like, yo, there are so many different types of people on here. What is it like being in a city like Houston where, you know, some people say it has a certain sound, but when you get closer to it, it's like it's all these varied sounds, but there is a mainstream sound. What is it like eschewing that, trying to mainstream sound and still kind of being in your own lane?
I think Houston's dope, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I think Houston has a lot of like hidden talent.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like very, very talented people in Houston that like you just don't even know or hear, you know, unless you like know that they're here or you like go to a spot and there's just like a bunch of creatives there. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a city that it's very easy to be like creatively inspired in if you kind of know what spaces to be in. I think that I've been to a lot of like dope events too that like creatives have put together where they're like trying to bring people together and like collaborate and things like that, which I think is dope. And I think that, I don't know, I think the trajectory for the city is good in that regard. Like, yes, there is the mainstream sound, but I think there's enough things happening independently and like underground where it's like gonna stay fresh and like stay new, and like artists that are coming up are like gonna have a lot of different avenues to like stay creative and stay I'm like, I've lost my train of thought. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's gonna be they're gonna have the opportunity to create a lot of dope things, in my opinion.
And no, I completely get what you're saying, because we discovered you. I discovered, well, he said it. Like, we know Tony Dark. We liked his album. We were looking forward to DB Looper. We liked that sound. And then we heard your verse, and I was like, yo, who is that? So, it does say something too and I would say this to everybody, and I feel like it's developing more and more. I mean, they had some report the other day where they were like, the majority of music for the first time in history that's being played, that since they've been cataloging, is older music. It's like new music comes out charts, and you'll hear, I'm not going to name a name, but you'll hear a big artist come out, say, hey, my album streamed this much, da 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 da, and you'll be a lot of people like, I don't remember hearing this album, but okay, that's cool. And then everybody kind of goes back. Like, I feel like we're all like in a TikTok world where it's like, yeah, like, I'm listening to that 3 6 Mafia song that came out 24 years ago. Right. Or I'm listening to this song that came out 8 years ago. And it's just like, the sound is definitely changing. And I think Houston is a good spot to do it. So if you like music, go just listen to what you like.
Yes.
I would say so.
Agree with that.
I would definitely say that's the best thing. Look, I'm glad you expanded and you're finally like, okay, I'm cool with the white. Wait, are you cool with the White Coat Wednesdays now?
Oh yeah, I love White Coat Wednesday now.
Okay, so
I like look forward to it every week now. Yeah.
So I guess that's my other thing too. So you might not remember the first one when it came out in response, but at what point were you like, all right, like, I'm not gonna have an attitude about this. Like, I kind of like this.
Okay, so this was probably, it was like the week of Thanksgiving, I would say, because I was back home in Florida, and I was actually telling my husband, I was like, man, I'm not gonna post a White Coat Wednesday this week. Like, I'm just gonna take a break. It's Thanksgiving week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was trying to like give myself that excuse, and he was like, what are you talking about? He was like, no, like, you have to post something this week because like you have to stay consistent. Like, he was like, the more that you stay consistent, like, it's gonna, like, he's like, this isn't about you. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I know that you don't want to do it because of you, but like, you being consistent is inspiring people. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of whether you think it is or not. And so I was like, all right, fine. And so like I posted, because I was just thinking about it like analytically. I'm like, it's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Like, people don't care. Like, they're not going to be on their phones. Like, I was just thinking like, no one's going to like it. No one's going to see it. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? But I still did it. I still posted it. And, it got a little bit of likes or whatever. And so I did it that week. And then the next week I did it again. And then I think like people are like, yo, like, every week that you do these, like, it's so inspiring. Like, I come to your page, like, just to see what you're going to do, and it's just kind of like, all right, like, this really is bigger than me. And it became like less of a selfish thing and more of like this is more of like a vessel life kind of thing for you. So you need to keep doing it for the people and like stop making it about you and like what you want. Because, when you're a musician and when you're an artist, like, I feel like art is meant to inspire people. Like, you should make the music that you want to hear and like the music that you like, but at the end of the day, like, it's meant to move the people. And so I think like those 2 weeks of like Thanksgiving week and like the week after was when I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this seriously and like be excited about it. And so now I like it. Like, I look forward to finding like what producers' beats I want to rap over and like figuring out what flows and stuff I want to use and stuff. So it's fun.
Well, that's good. Did was your husband cool with it, or did he say, I told you so? Finally, we're like, yeah, I like it. He's like, yeah, I knew you would.
He's more like, I'm glad that you like it now.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
he's more, yeah, he's graceful.
I'm just letting you know. In his head, he's like, man, I told her. Okay, so let's talk about, I mean, White Coat Wednesdays is your like weekly freestyle. So you're on other people's beats, you're on sometimes original beats and all these things, and you're just displaying your lyrical skill. There's a gear shift when you start to go into album mode. So you have a new album. Tell us about that, like the producers that went into it, because it's very I don't want to say, it's weird to call music melodic, but it's melodic.
Oh
So
yeah, for sure.
yeah. So tell us about the creation of this album.
Yeah, so the new album is called Air, and it stands for Having Everything Inside Revealed. It's produced exclusively by The Rue, and so The Rue is a Houston-based production team. It's 3 members. It's Jermaine Williams, King Mason, and Kay. And so we actually started working on that project in 2019, actually.
Oh.
I did a live show. I did a Make Proper Art show, actually, and Jermaine was the bass player for that show. And so we kind of connected after that, and he kind of told me what the Rue was trying to do, like as a production team, and he kind of said that he thought that they could really enhance what I was trying to do with my art and that kind of thing. And I, before I've just kind of worked with beat makers and stuff like that, and have just a lot of like 2-track kind of projects and stuff like that. And so he really thought that they could like really enhance my sound and really help me like put together a dope, cohesive body of work. And so yeah, we started working on that in 2019 and finally pulled it together. And I don't know, it's been a really, really dope experience. I never really worked with a lot of like live instrumentation and stuff like that. So yeah, I learned a lot. It was the first project where I like really forced myself to write the best version of each song, I would say, because I would say on other projects before, I don't know, I guess I wasn't mature enough as an artist to kind of not figure out how to let my ego get out of the way to like rewrite a hook or rewrite a verse, you know what I'm saying? Or like listen to people be like, oh, like that hook is cool, but it could be better, or that verse is cool, but on this part, I kind of lost you when you did this, or like had that switch up or whatever. So, I like took all that feedback really seriously and tried to make sure we were really intentional about features and things like that, and even like instrumentation switch ups and things like that. So everything was very intentional, and I hope that the listeners kind of feel that when they're listening to it and appreciate that. So
what was it
I'm
about?
proud of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what was it about this group and this particular music that made you kind of push your ego aside at this point?
This group was very, it was really their dedication and their commitment to wanting to make the best version of the song too. I think, and I mean, it's not to take anything away from any other projects that I've done, but it's just kind of like when you listen to a song and it's just kind of like, how can this be better? Like, is it, I don't even know how to explain this. It's like, what's clashing, right? Because even with instruments and even with like vocals, like everything has its own like frequency and stuff like that too. So it's like, what's clashing? Like if somebody's listening to it, like, is something gonna throw their experience off? Like all those kinds of things. You know what I'm saying? It's just all of us like really wanting to put our best foot forward because it was gonna be their first project as a group that they like did with an artist. So it was going to be kind of like their presentation as a group. And for me, it was going to be, I hadn't released a project since 2019. That was the last time I released something I did I'm Ready back in 2019. But even that, it was just like, you know, just like a collection of beats and stuff. It wasn't anything that serious. So like, I wanted to make sure that like, whatever I came out with next, it was really going to be like, whoa, like I wanted to show that I had grown like as a person and as an artist as well, because it's like, I've been off for almost 3 years, you know, so you don't want to take all that time off and then come back and it just seemed like you didn't really like do anything with that time, you know? So their willingness to kind of listen to me as an artist and like what I was looking for, and kind of their willingness to kind of meet my vision, even when they didn't agree with me in the beginning, was actually like, I really, really appreciated that.
What did they agree with?
For example, like the first song on Air, the very first song is called Like Air. That song originally, it sounded completely different than it does on the album now. I actually wrote that, I was actually at school when I wrote that song. I wrote it after I heard a Robert Glasper song. It was actually a Robert Glasper and Rhapsody song, Expectations, off the Fuck Your Feelings project from Robert Glasper. So I like heard that song and I was like, man, like this is dope. Like I wish I was on this song. You know what I'm saying? And so like when I heard that, I was like, so I just like started writing like when I heard that. And so I was like listening to the beat from the Rue and I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. Like I think this will fit well on this. But like that beat at that time like had drums on it and it had like a saxophone on it and like all this other kind of like different stuff. And so Mason, he like plays the keys and like does like orchestration and like all that kind of stuff. So he had like sent an idea where he had added like orchestration on top of the beat. And at that time, like the beat had like drums, like all this other kind of stuff on it. But like when I heard the orchestration, I was like, yo, like this orchestration is super dope, but y'all got to take the drums out. And they were like, what do you mean we got to take the drums out? Like, it's a hip hop album. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a hip hop album. Like, you got to have the drums. And I was like, nah, like, y'all have to take these drums off. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, trust me, like, please take the drums out. And so we like went back and forth, but they like took the drums out and they ended up having to like replay some other things to kind of make the song make sense and kind of make it fit. But it kind of, I wanted the song, like the first song that the project opened up with, I wanted it to be really musical, and I wanted it to sound like something that I felt represented how musical and how melodic, as you said, Devon, that group is, just because what that group can do, I feel like a lot of production teams can't. And so I wanted the album to kind of open up with that. Like, a lot of y'all can't do this at home. Let me show you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they can't make that on the raw thing.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't normal. And like, let me show you like what these guys can do. You know, because the rest of the album, like, it's cool, like it's dope, but you know, it has the drums and it has like a good feel and stuff like that. So I wanted to be like super musical, like super cinematic, like, and they kind of met me at my vision. And so
do you find yourself like leaning in that direction now that you've experienced that sound? Like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer now, like, I want to do more stuff and lean towards live instrumentation? Or are you like, I want to go more back to drum machines, or I could do
either? It just kind of depends. Yeah, it just kind of depends. I definitely, yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I love like performing and I love live shows. So like anything that I can adapt to live instrumentation is always going to be a major plus for me. But I'm not going to turn my back on beat machines and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, that's where I came from, you know?
That's how you got started. Yeah. So now we're at a point, and you know, I'm not gonna belabor this point too much, but you're about to be a doctor, like full on. What are the plans in the future on how you're gonna meld these two worlds? I think you've been doing a great job so far, and it sounds like you're progressing in both. So, you know, like you're talking about the analytics and all this stuff on White Coat Wednesdays, and you're also talking about residency. What are the plans for the future in terms of how you see your career moving forward?
It's a good question. So the plans for the future, well, I start residency officially. Well, official start date will be July 1st of 2022. As you know, I have some stuff in the chamber that's ready to go. So that stuff will be ready to go for when I get, a little bit busier this year. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always gonna make music. I have plans for kind of using my artistry to kind of do more things with education and even kind of do more things with communicating like medical knowledge and things like that. So there's like things that I want to work on in that lane as well, like aside from just releasing projects and stuff like that. I'll still do my White Coat Wednesdays when I'm in residency. They may not be every week, but I'll still hit y'all with something periodically.
Oh, it's completely random. Do you know the people for Reading with a Rapper?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I talked to them last week.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Wait. Did you know them already, or did y'all?
They found out about me from White Coat Wednesday.
Okay, because your
husband was right. Look at that.
Perfectly with Reading with a Rapper. So you guys are going to be doing some stuff because I wish I could take credit for that idea.
Well, you can take credit for another one. Producer that she should hook up with, Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Jedi Master.
Jedi Master.
That would sound.
Are you familiar with Jedi Master?
I'm not familiar with Jedi Master.
We will definitely show you because he
got soulful,
and he has no problem taking drums out of stuff. He is definitely
only if it's necessary.
Oh no!
I love the drums.
He's musically skilled. You won't be disappointed.
Fantastically skilled, and he will literally text like, "Yo, Griselda got a new album coming out. No drums." He's just like, yeah. So no, those are things. Okay, we can take credit for the introduction on that, but the Reading with a Rapper, their program is incredible.
Absolutely,
and you would fit right in. Plus, you've got lyrics, so that pays off really well as well. And like I said, there are only two rappers I would see that were in the medical field that were doing consistent rapping in their car, and it was you and Martina Marie. Like I would always
love Martina Marie.
Yeah, I'm like she was doing the nursing thing, and she was adamant, like, I'm still going to work. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, until y'all give me like a deal, I'm going to work. Like I make money already. So that's a huge.
I mean, I feel that. I'm still going to work too.
You want to be a doctor, though. I mean, eventually, the doctor thing also gives you I know you're going into residency, and residency is the like people don't know residency is like the poor time for doctors. Like I know the big bucks come, but residency is a grind to get through. But when you come out, you'll have a whole lot of leverage. Like, if a label comes to you, it's like, we're going to offer you this much. You're like, I make that much.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. What are your?
And I think that.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. No, I didn't mean
to. Go ahead. I was going to say, I was going to ask what are your concerns when you're going into residency, but what were you about to say?
Oh, no, I was just going to say that I think that like being like in residency and like being in medicine is going to like open a different lane and like open a different set of doors too, that I'm excited about. Like being an artist and stuff as well, and to like be an advocate and stuff in like a lot of different lanes too, which I'm excited about. So I have a lot of different plans, but yes, definitely collaborating with Reading with the Rapper. Definitely, like you've heard, the album that's going to come out after Air, and definitely still doing the White Coat Wednesdays. Tony Dark and I also have a project that we're wrapping up as well. So there's a lot of stuff in the works. Like we're
talking about a complete project with you and him.
A complete project,
Oh, sweet,
that's fantastic.
So we're always working over here.
Tony knows Jedi too. So
Oh, cool.
okay, you can ask about him. So yeah.
How did you learn time management? Because that's got to be what it is. Your time management
Yeah.
has to be immaculate.
I didn't want to be offensive. I was like, yo, either you have the best time management or the strongest ADHD I've ever seen in my life. And I'm only saying that because I have ADHD and people be like, how are you doing this stuff? And I was like, man, I don't know. I thought this is how people worked, but apparently that's not. So how is it that you are getting all this stuff done as I step on my brother's question?
Fine with me.
Man, honestly, it's definitely a combination of the grace of God for sure, but also just like, I don't know, I just have so many things that I want to accomplish. Like I just like actually like legitimately like want to do all these things, you know, and it like excites me to like finish things. You know what I'm saying? So I just like figure out like what do I need to do to like finish this stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I just try to make the most of the hours that I have in each day. And it's just kind of like, even if it's like, I'll set little timers and stuff too. It's like, all right, I'm going to work on this thing for 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to like work on editing my White Coat Wednesday video for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to like read this thing for school for 20 minutes. And then I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll work on things in little chunks. And then at the end of the day, like I'll have all my stuff done. You know, it's just like breaking things into different pieces. You know, if I don't have time to like sit down and work on something straight for 2 hours or whatever, I'll just figure out how to break it up and get it done.
And that's why you're smart.
I was about to say, because never mind. We don't have the same brain because I don't break it into chunks. I wait until the last possible minute, up, and I'm like, all right, let me drink some coffee and let's get to work. So yeah, no, that is a good thing. Now, I guess, and now I just lost my train of thought. But my question, it was going to be about like, what is your family's thoughts as they see you progress and kind of move forward, going from your parents, seeing you get to the residency and knowing tangentially about your rap career. Like they know you rap, but they don't know everything about it. But particularly your husband, who I know knows all the stuff. Yeah. Like, what is their experience just seeing you progress forward?
Man, so my parents are really, really excited about the residency thing. Really, really excited about the residency thing. Probably more excited about that than the rapping thing. Probably because they don't know about the extent of the rapping thing still. And they're just like, we don't know how she does this still. So there's that. But they're excited. They're proud. I was telling my husband before, like, I probably wouldn't even be in medical school if it wasn't for my dad, because he kind of was the one that like planted that seed and kind of like spoke I know you're going to be a urologist and like achieve that dream and like that kind of thing. So I appreciate him for believing in me in that regard. And yeah, my husband is just kind of like, his thing is just kind of like, these are all the things that you've been praying for. So like, it's just time to get it. Like, let's go, you know? So you're just kind of like.
And you said it was your dad that put him in. What is that?
Yeah.
I guess, what is that conversation when, I mean, look, you're talking about going from engineer, which we were shocked at, that you just kind of lightly dropped, like, oh, by the way, I was an engineer. And then I went to medical school, which is a big, and a lot of people, if they're in these professions, that engineer requires a lot of schooling, medical school requires a lot of schooling, lawyer, doctor, these things require a lot. You hear a lot of people that are like, man, you will never catch me back in somebody's school. Like, I did it, I'm done. I never want to be in a classroom again. Like, I'm burnt out. To be suggested that, and your initial thought, like, yeah, I've done engineering and now I want to go to medical school. What was that conversation like? And did it take a lot of convincing, or were you like, yeah, this is it?
Oh man. I mean, I actually tried to avoid medical school. Like, here's the thing. I actually kind of like skipped over this because I was trying not to take up a bunch of time, but when I decided that I didn't want to stay in engineering, I was trying to like figure out like what other school I was going to do instead. So I was like, am I going to go to like grad school and do something else. I knew I probably shouldn't go to grad school for engineering because I didn't like engineering research and stuff like that, but it was just kind of like an easy thing to do because I was already in the field. So I thought about that for a second. I thought about going to business school, but I was just kind of like, I don't really want to go to business school. Like, I feel like business is like cool, but like a lot of it is just kind of like, whatever. You know, it just wasn't really exciting to me. It's kind of like common sense kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, I don't want to go to school for that. And so when I was talking to my dad just about like, I know I don't want to stay at this job. Like, I know I need to do something else, but I don't know what to do. He was just kind of like, my mom and my brother are doctors. They knew they wanted to be doctors when they were kids. I didn't want to go to medical school. One, because I did engineering school and I got burned out. And two, because I thought medical school took too long and I'm impatient. And so that's why all this is hilarious. And so my dad was like, well, why don't you like think about going to medical school? Like, you be a great doctor, you're disciplined, like you can, like, you know, like you can do it. Like, why don't you just like think about it? Like, get you an MCAT book, like study for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just like see if you start studying for it, if you like it, like just like see what happens. And I was like, all right, fine. And so I like got the little MCAT book and I like started like looking through it and stuff and like doing little questions and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is dope. Like I could do this, you know? And like, that's kind of like what sent me down that path. And I was like, dang, like, I guess I'm going to go to medical school, you know? And it's just kind of like, I'm like 3 years out of college now. And it's just kind of like, well, this sucks. Like, because like, this is exactly what I didn't want to do with like all this time, you know what I'm saying? So it's just funny how stuff works out.
Do you feel like it went quick or did it really take a long time? Because I mean,
no, it went really quick.
Yeah,
it went really quick. And like, I get, that's the thing about time, man. It's just kind of like the stuff that you think is going to take a lot of time, like it really doesn't take that much time. Like the time is going to pass anyway, you know, and especially if you're like doing something that you don't want to do, like the time is going to go by slowly if you're like unhappy doing whatever you're doing. So you might as well chase whatever dream you want to chase. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been in med school for 4 years and it feels like it's like gone by like that. You know, like we're getting ready to graduate and I'm telling my husband, like, it feels like I just got here, man. You know? So yeah, it's been crazy. So yeah, man.
Much success to you. Where can we find you at on social media?
Yeah, on Instagram and Twitter, I'm at CRED_13, cred_13.
All right. Okay, cred_13. Everybody take the time out to go to your socials and follow her. Look at the information that she has. Air is coming out when? HEI.
It's out. It dropped on February 2nd. Yeah.
Air is out.
Dropped February 2nd. And what does the acronym stand for?
Having everything inside revealed.
See, that's perfect. Having everything inside revealed. And she revealed to us a lot of information on In My Humble Opinion podcast. Thank you very much for coming out. Once again, that's C-Red. I'm Avery, like a very nice guy. That's my brother, Jess Devon. You could find us both at My Humblo on everything. Humbly yours. My Humble Opinion podcast. H-Town, too sweet. H-Town, too sweet.